Prologue.
Yes, I finally started off the video right. I mean, in my last video, I said epilogue. An epilogue means a short writing at the ending of a movie, play, but nobody corrected me on it on my last video, so this time I said prologue. This series is the complete opposite of my ignorance of the media series. Instead of me roasting the media, I'll give praise to the guys that actually do their job in the media. So instead of a roast, I'll give a toast. But don't worry, I'll still make my ignorance of the media videos in the future. I just want to be balanced so that you guys can see the positive side of the media and the negative side. Let's get toasted.
There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
High five, Chris Sims.
So I've spent the last 3 days watching these quarterbacks, the big five, right? And I've really studied them, so I feel like I got them down. No offense to Sam Darnold, he's a really good player and he's got a lot of playmaking ability, but there's no way he deserves to be the first pick of the draft or the fourth pick of the draft for my money.
What Chris just said about Sam Darnold was bold in that particular time because nearly every analyst gushed over Sam Darnold. And for Chris to say that Darnold shouldn't be a first pick or a fourth pick in the first round was a very gutsy thing to say in that particular moment.
I think the best quarterback in the draft is Lamar Jackson from Louisville. I mean, I know you're looking at me. I didn't think I was going to be saying that 2-3 days ago when I started in on this. I didn't. I started watching. I went Josh Allen 1, Baker Mayfield 2. Then I watched Sam Darnold. I watched Josh Rosen. Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback in this draft for me. He's the only one that has no questions. The only question you have about him is, can he take the beating and the way he plays in the NFL? But decision-making, throwing.
And Chris hit the nail on the head with this one. Yes, Lamar Jackson was a great decision maker. He actually looks through his progressions better than most pocket passers. And Chris Sims actually gave credit to Lamar Jackson's throwing ability, in which, in that particular time, everybody was acting like Lamar Jackson had a weak arm.
Accuracy to a degree, but I would argue there a little bit. I mean, he doesn't get a ton of easy throws. He throws the ball down the field aggressively.
I agree, Sims, because everyone kept saying that Lamar Jackson was not accurate in college. But Sims explains that not only did Lamar Jackson made a lot of difficult throws in tight windows, but Lamar Jackson also took a lot of shots down the field, which plays with your completion percentage. When Lamar Jackson won the Heisman, he was 12th in the nation in yards per attempt, which means that he takes more shots down the field than most college quarterbacks. And you may think to yourself, 12th? That's not in the top 10 or the top 5. But out of 130 college teams, that's pretty high. So that basically means that Lamar Jackson took more shots down the field than 118 college football quarterbacks. I have to give Chris Sims credit, in this moment for giving a detailed analysis on Lamar Jackson when a lot of people were not.
Allies 4, Jim Mora and Michael Vick.
He's got, more size than Mike. He's longer than Mike. I don't know how durable he is, but he's long. He's been tremendously productive in his college career, both as a passer and as a runner.
I like what Jim did here. He acknowledged Lamar Jackson as a passer and a runner, saying that he was efficient in both areas of his skills.
And Bucky, you said it. If he goes to the right team.
The Baltimore Ravens select Lamar Jackson, quarterback, Louisville.
And they use him the right way.
He keeps it. To the end zone, touchdown.
And they build on the confidence that is innate to him, and they don't break him down. He can be tremendously successful in this league.
Well, we talked about it. He wants you to get close to him. He's pretending. He said, come on, get up here, bye.
This guy, to me, he remains a passer longer than Mike did. Mike was more apt to take off and run a little bit sooner than I see Lamar doing. I've seen clips where he hangs in there, then he makes the throw down the field for a touchdown. Mike was just a little bit more prone to take off and go. So maybe he counters some of that, the hits that he takes by hanging in the pocket a little bit.
I like how Jim Mora pays attention to detail. He was a former coach for Michael Vick, so he was perfect for this segment because he's seen Michael Vick's strengths and weaknesses. So when Jim Mora did his homework on Lamar Jackson, he saw that Lamar Jackson was a more complete dual threat than Michael Vick was when it came to pocket awareness and looking through his progressions. And by Lamar Jackson staying in the pocket longer meant that he did not always have to rely on his athleticism to put him in harm's way as much as Michael Vick did.
The other thing you have to do is you have to make sure that schematically you get him outside the numbers. If you get him outside the numbers on those planned runs, then you're going to minimize the hits. You're going to put him in an environment that he controls. He can get out of bounds. He can slide.
And that is what the Ravens are doing right now with Lamar Jackson. They're running Lamar Jackson outside the numbers so that he can have a chance to get out of bounds, slide, etc.
I happened to catch Louisville and Florida State, and I could not believe what I had seen. I could not believe the things that he was able to do. It was a spitting image of me, and the only thing that came to my mind was this kid is 5 times better than what I was when I was at Virginia Tech.
You know, Michael Vick really has grown into his maturity over the years. And you can say it's because, you know, of the certain unfortunate circumstances that has happened in his life. But that's not always the case because sometimes people go through tough times and it can either make you worse or better as a person. I mean, the fact that he put Lamar Jackson on a pedestal by saying that LJ is 5 times better than him at college, you really have to humble yourself as a former player for doing this. Plus, Michael Vick was not arrogant. He didn't say that, oh, Lamar Jackson got a long way to go before he becomes a great dual threat like I was in the NFL. Michael Vick took it upon himself to be Lamar Jackson's mentor. He has given him advice on how to be a better player in the NFL and not make the same mistakes that he made when he was in the NFL. So I really give Michael Vick a lot of respect for what he has done with Lamar Jackson.
GM, I would draft him. You know, whether it's the first round or fourth round, you know, you look at all the quarterbacks coming out in the draft, they're all projects. Nobody's guaranteed to do anything.
I like the fact that Michael Vick stated that all of these quarterbacks were projects because everybody kept saying that, oh, Lamar Jackson is a project as if it was a negative thing, when in reality, all of the quarterbacks in that first round had flaws. Sam Darnold was a turnover machine in college. In 27 games, Sam Darnold had 36 turnovers. Then, you know, Josh Allen had accuracy issues. Josh Rosen, scouts complained about his arrogance, about his decision-making on the field. Baker Mayfield had character issues that followed him to the NFL. And sometimes Baker Mayfield will make bad reads in clutch time. I am not trying to roast these quarterbacks and make it seem like Lamar Jackson is perfect. But the point I'm trying to make is that it seems like Lamar Jackson's shortcomings were more exaggerated than other quarterback prospects. And I think it had a lot to do with Lamar Jackson's play style.
Ally 3, Mike Mayock.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll tell you what, I'm excited because I've watched an awful lot of film of this guy.
Yes, sir.
I think he's the most spectacular athlete in this draft. I believe he's a quarterback only, and I'm not even going to talk about anything else. Lamar, you come out here today. What did you want to prove? What did you want to show these guys?
Well,
I like how Mike Mayock gets straight to the point, and he asked him quarterback-related questions. He didn't beat around the bush. He didn't say, do you want to change your position? He just asked him quarterback-related questions.
And I like the fact that you put a center in there.
Yes,
like
sir.
a lot of people, when they say they're going under center at the pro day, they're just pretending to be under center.
Oh, yes, sir.
You actually had Jaron under there.
Mayock said something that I didn't even know. He said that Lamar Jackson brought a center at pro day, in which most quarterbacks don't. So this shows you how detail-oriented Lamar Jackson is. Plus, a lot of people do not realize that Lamar Jackson actually ran a pro style in college. I think him and Sam Darnold were the only quarterbacks that were taken in the first round that actually ran NFL-type offenses in college.
You get a chance to watch any of Deshaun Watson last year with Houston and how they played him?
Oh yeah. I watched the Bengals game. You know, Deshaun did his thing. He's a great quarterback. I think he's gonna be one of the greatest.
So when you look at Deshaun and his style of play and how he came into the league day one and dominated,
Yes, sir.
do you see any of yourself in that style of play and the same kind of ability?
I like how Mike Mayock uses Deshaun Watson as an NFL example. I think that this is Mike's way of saying that there is a place in the NFL for every type of quarterback. Plus, Watson went through similar types of adversity like Lamar Jackson when it came to people questioning his durability, his accuracy. So I like how Mike Mayock uses Deshaun Watson as motivation for Lamar Jackson.
What's your favorite route to throw?
Oh, it's a lot of favorite routes, you know.
Give me 2 or 3 favorite
post routes.
Oh, here's the deal. Okay, you're playing Florida State. Let's pick a time. Fourth quarter. 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8.
Game's on the line. What do you want to call?
Sure.
Okay, so you're in the huddle give me a call right now in the huddle. 3rd and 8. Pre-snap. Go ahead.
All right. Gun doubles right. 8. That's the play.
And that's all it is.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I like how he exploited Lamar Jackson's football IQ so that Lamar Jackson can show the world that he does have the mental capacity to play quarterback. I also appreciate the fact that Mayock asks him about different routes, different coverages, different game situations. What was Lamar Jackson's favorite plays during certain game situations? You know, this was a very professional interview. It wasn't biased. He didn't just, try to take shots at Lamar Jackson. He didn't try to discourage him. He just asked him real football questions. Ally 2, Rich Money Eisen.
I think the Ravens are a playoff team. I think the Ravens are an absolute playoff team.
They got a playoff defense.
They have a playoff offense too, man.
Hey, he called it.
The whole doubting Lamar Jackson thing, I'm over it. I'm tired of it. And I can only imagine how tired he must be. I know John Harbaugh's tired of it.
It comes a time in a person's life when you have to step outside the box and go against societal norms. And that's what Rich Eisen did. This situation reminds me of that one kid that always gets bullied in school and nobody ever comes to his defense because everybody is so scared of that bully. Until one day you get that random guy that stands up for that kid because he is tired of seeing him get bullied all the time. Well, that's what this situation reminds me of. Lamar Jackson always gets bullied by the media and stingy fans. And out of nowhere, Rich Eisen is defending this kid like it's his best friend. Man, I love it.
And I think he's going to absolutely improve throwing the football. I think the offense is going to be tight end and running back heavy.
A lot of bodies in a tight space. Jackson keeps, throws, pass, caught, touchdown, Andrews.
Hey, he called it.
With now Hollywood Brown taking the top of the defense off, right?
8 games and only one 200-yard passing game?
8 games of film of an offense that was put together on the fly.
I like how Rich Eisen states the fact that they had to reconstruct their offense mid-season to get to the playoffs. And it's funny because you get a lot of ignorant fans that say, well, the Ravens had a good team. That's why Lamar Jackson took them to the postseason. And I'm like, okay, so then why were they 4-5 with Joe Flacco?
I'll tell you this. I think the AFC North is the Ravens division to lose.
This is a tough thing to do as an analyst because it's not like Rich Eisen can delete this video because Fox owns the rights, technically. I mean, like if I made a bad video, I can delete it forever. Rich Eisen, not so much. So just imagine if Lamar Jackson had a poor season, then Rich Eisen would look like a fool. But since Lamar Jackson is having a great season, Rich Eisen, looks like a genius. So this was very risky, and you have to have a lot of courage, as an analyst to pull this off.
He was also thrown into the starting role mid-season. It wasn't like training camp and then preseason and all off-season being known as the guy. He is this time around. I like it.
This is what you are supposed to do as an analyst. You're supposed to challenge popular opinions, popular theories. You don't always have to jump from bandwagon to bandwagon every week. So by Rich Eisen doing this, it's a breath of fresh air, and you can't call him a fair weather fan because he was on Lamar Jackson's side before the season even started.
Ally 1, DeAngelo Hall, the wingman.
Where am I going? I'm going to Baltimore? And when you drop back as a passer and then run the ball, you'll really surprise defenses. I see Lamar Jackson as the MVP of this league.
Damn, that's a bold prediction. DeAngelo Hall is buying all of my lottery tickets.
Look out, guys. Look out, guys. Lamar Jackson. I'm going to come see you now.
What was in your cup?
Ain't nothing but water in my cup. Mike, Mike, get out of here. Lamar, I'm coming for you, man. MVP, baby. I said it first. MVP. Lamar Jackson, I said it first.
Remember, guys, he said it first. DeAngelo Hall predicted that Lamar Jackson would win the MVP before the season even started, when everyone thought he was crazy. You guys do realize, before the season even started, Jimmy Garoppolo, Khalil Mack were considered to have a better chance at winning the MVP more than Lamar Jackson. This is an amazing prediction by DeAngelo Hall. I mean, can you imagine before the year even started, and if you betted on Lamar Jackson winning the MVP, do you know how much money you could have won? Jesus, man.